Imagine getting ready every single morning like a perfectionist. You shower twice, you scrub every inch of your body, you spray your favorite perfume, you iron your shirt until it looks brand new, and you walk out the door feeling like the most confident version of yourself. Now imagine that same evening, sitting in a meeting and watching your colleague quietly shift his chair a few inches away from you. Imagine getting into a car with 3 friends, and somehow, every single time, you end up being the one sitting alone in the back seat. Imagine your own child running toward you for a hug, and then pausing just for a second before deciding not to. If this sounds familiar, keep watching, because by the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly why this happens, and more importantly, how to fix it using nothing but home remedies that have been passed down for generations. Disclaimer: this video is for general informational purposes only, and it shares traditional home remedies, not medical advice. If your condition is severe or persistent, please consult a qualified doctor.
How this all relates to
Let me tell you a story, because it might just be your story too. There was a man who loved cleanliness more than anything else in the world. Every single morning, he took a proper bath, put on freshly ironed clothes, sprayed his favorite perfume, and walked out the door feeling confident and ready for the day. He went to the office, greeted his colleagues, sat through long meetings, had lunch with his team, and in the evening came home to play with his kids and sit beside his wife. On the outside, everything looked perfect. But there was one problem eating away at him from the inside. His body produced a sweat with such a strong odor that people around him slowly began keeping their distance. In meetings, no one wanted to sit next to him. In the car, colleagues found excuses to sit somewhere else. Even at home, sometimes his own wife and children would unconsciously step a little further away. It was not just embarrassing, it was heartbreaking, watching the people closest to him quietly pull back because of something that felt completely out of his control. If you are going through the same thing, the first thing you need to understand is this: you are not broken and you are not alone. Millions of people around the world deal with this exact issue, where sweat carries an unusually strong smell no matter how clean they keep themselves. This is not a character flaw, and it is not a hygiene failure. Many people who suffer from this bathe daily, wear clean clothes, and still their body works against them. The real cause lies deep inside the body's own chemistry. And once you understand what is actually happening under the skin, you can finally start fixing it, without medicine, without doctors, using nothing but what is already sitting in your kitchen and your daily habits. Here is what is really going on. The body has 2 kinds of sweat glands. One type is spread all over the skin, and it produces a watery sweat that barely has any smell on its own. The other type is concentrated in areas like the underarms and the groin.
What we think about being hot,
and this sweat comes mixed with proteins and fats. On its own, this sweat is also odorless. But the moment it touches the bacteria naturally living on your skin, those bacteria break down the proteins and fats, and that reaction is what creates the sharp, unpleasant smell that pushes people away. So the real enemy is not the sweat itself. It is the bacteria feeding on it, and the toxins building up inside the body that make that sweat richer food for those bacteria. Now the real question is, why does this happen more in some people than others? And this is exactly where old household wisdom comes in, tested over generations, long before modern deodorants ever existed. The first major reason is what is going on inside your gut and your liver. When your body is carrying excess toxins and your liver cannot fully filter them out, the body looks for other ways to release that waste, and the sweat glands become one of those escape routes. This is why people who eat heavy, oily, processed food or drink too much tea, coffee, and cold drinks often notice their sweat smell getting stronger over time, because their body is trying to flush out what the liver could not handle. The second reason is a poor diet loaded with garlic, onion, red meat, and spicy fried food. These foods release sulfur compounds into the bloodstream, and those compounds eventually escape through sweat, giving it a much sharper smell once bacteria interact with it. The third reason is wearing the wrong kind of clothing. Synthetic fabrics like polyester trap heat and moisture against the skin, creating a warm, damp environment where bacteria multiply rapidly. Two people can shower exactly the same way, but the one wearing tight synthetic clothes will smell far stronger than the one wearing breathable cotton, simply because their skin never gets a chance to breathe. Now let us talk about the home remedies that generations before us relied on. Remedies your grandmother probably already knew about, long before this became a bathroom cabinet industry. The first and most powerful remedy is baking soda. Baking soda naturally neutralizes acidic compounds in sweat, and it kills the bacteria responsible for the smell. Simply mix a teaspoon of baking soda with a little water to form a paste, apply it to the underarms after your bath, let it sit for 5 minutes, and then rinse it off. Used consistently, this alone can dramatically cut down odor within just a few days. The second remedy is lemon. Lemon is naturally acidic, and that acidity makes it very difficult for odor-causing bacteria to survive on the skin. Cut a lemon in half and rub it gently on clean underarms. Let the juice dry naturally for 10 minutes and then rinse with water. Do this once a day, ideally right after your bath, and you will notice the smell reducing noticeably within a week. The third remedy is apple cider vinegar, which works almost like a natural antibacterial toner for the skin. Mix 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar with a cup of water, apply it with a cotton pad to the underarms and other sweat-prone areas after bathing, and let it dry before dressing. It rebalances the skin's natural pH, making it a hostile environment for bacteria to thrive in. The fourth remedy involves rock alum, known as fitkari, in many households. This natural mineral has been used for generations as a natural deodorant. Simply wet the alum stone slightly and rub it directly on the underarms after a bath. It tightens the pores slightly, which reduces the amount of sweat released, and its antibacterial properties keep the odor from forming in the first place. The fifth remedy is drinking enough water throughout the day, at least 8 to 10 glasses. When the body is properly hydrated, toxins are flushed out through urine and the kidneys rather than through sweat. Most people who deal with strong body odor are chronically underhydrated, which forces their body to rely more heavily on sweat as a waste removal system. The sixth remedy is adding chlorophyll-rich foods to your diet, such as spinach, mint, coriander, and parsley. Chlorophyll acts as a natural internal deodorizer, and cultures around the world have used mint and coriander in daily meals specifically because of this cleansing effect on body odor. A simple mint and coriander chutney with your meals, eaten regularly, can noticeably improve your body's natural scent from the inside out. The seventh remedy is switching your clothing choice to pure cotton, especially during summer months or physically demanding days. Cotton allows the skin to breathe, and it does not trap bacteria the way synthetic fabric does. Along with this, changing your clothes daily and never re-wearing unwashed clothes even for a few hours cuts down significantly on bacterial buildup. The eighth remedy is using tea tree oil, a well-known natural antibacterial and antifungal agent. Mix 2 to 3 drops of tea tree oil with a tablespoon of coconut oil and apply it lightly to the underarms after bathing. It directly targets the bacteria responsible for breaking down sweat into odor, working almost like a natural, chemical-free antibacterial deodorant. The ninth remedy is reducing your intake of red meat, garlic, onion, and overly processed foods, and instead building meals around fresh vegetables, fruits, and whole grains. Within 2 to 3 weeks of this dietary shift, many people notice a real lasting change in their body's natural odor because the sulfur compounds that once fed the bacteria are no longer being produced in the same quantity. The 10th remedy is adding probiotic-rich foods like yogurt into your daily diet. A healthy gut, filled with more good bacteria than bad, directly affects how your body processes waste and toxins.
Sweating, and
a bowl of plain yogurt daily can support gut balance, which in turn supports better internal detoxification, reducing the burden on your sweat glands. Now here is something equally important to understand. If you have tried consistent home care and diet changes for several weeks, and the odor problem still has not improved, that could be a sign of something deeper going on internally, such as a hormonal imbalance or a metabolic issue. In that case, it would be wise to get it checked by a professional, not because home remedies failed you, but because your body might be asking for closer attention. But for most people, this problem is simply a buildup of years of poor diet, dehydration, synthetic clothing, and an overloaded liver working overtime with no support. Fix those roots, and the body naturally responds by producing sweat that carries far less, if any, odor at all. And here is the most important thing to remember through all of this. The people who quietly stepped back from you were reacting to a symptom, not judging your worth as a person. Your wife, who still sits beside you, your children, who still run to hug you, they see you for who you truly are, not for what your body has been struggling with. Fixing this is not about winning back approval from people who judge too quickly. It is about giving yourself back the comfort and the confidence that every person deserves to feel in their own skin. Every problem the body carries has a root cause, and every root cause has a natural answer. All it takes is patience, the right habits, and consistency. No pills, no prescriptions, just going back to what has always worked. Subscribe request. Before you go, let me ask you one honest question. How many videos like this have you scrolled past? Videos that could have actually changed your life, just because you forgot to hit subscribe and never saw them again. Do not let this be one of those videos. If this helped you even a little, hit that subscribe button right now, tap the bell icon, and turn on all notifications. Because next week we are bringing you remedies and secrets that took us months to research. Remedies that could save you money, save your confidence, and save your relationships. Somewhere out there, someone you love is silently struggling with exactly this problem, too embarrassed to even search for it online. Do not just watch this video and move on. Share it with them right now. Because sometimes the kindest thing you can do for someone is hand them an answer before they even have to ask the question out loud. Subscribe, share, and stay with us, because the next video might be the one that changes everything for you.